Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Greg's Restorations. Today we are here with a 2001 Toyota Sequoia full restoration. This vehicle came in about a year and a half ago and it was extremely bad. We actually almost didn't even take on the project, but the customer, kind of insisted on us wanting to do a full restoration, and we took on the job. It had a cool story behind it. One owner vehicle, just over 250,000 miles on it. They bought it new, and the whole family grew up in it, and it just got too many memories to throw away. This vehicle did miss the frame recall, so that was kind of like one of the main reasons why we did a full restoration on it, because it was so bad. The frame was actually broken in half. A lot of people will be like, that's crazy, you did a full restoration on it. But these vehicles are sentimental. Everybody, has something and they just love it and can't get rid of it. So yeah, we spent over the last year doing a full frame off restoration on this vehicle. Pretty wild. The next step will be restoring the interior on this. But for right now, we're out driving it and enjoying it. Come on for a ride and we'll talk some more about it. This vehicle is a true New England truck, as you can see from the frame pictures in the video from we first started this restoration, that it was pretty bad. This vehicle was virtually ready for the scrapyard. Did run and drive, but it needed so much work. The customer reached out to me to do a restoration on it, and I was like, I'm not really interested, because the amount of time and effort that would have to go into this vehicle, the normal person really wouldn't understand the amount of work and effort and the cost of doing something like this. We're not joking around. We're not tire kickers. We actually want to do it. So, we set up an appointment. We got the truck up for an evaluation on it. This vehicle did miss the frame recall, so it was kind of a shame, but the customer had the means of restoring it. Body of this vehicle wasn't overall bad. A little bit of rust starting at the bottom of the doors and just in the rear doors. There was some rust in the back on the wheel wells, underneath the fender flares and the rear quarters, but it wasn't taken off too bad. It was just everything from the underside of the body down. Just the frame and all the drivetrain components were just so bad. It's also very hard to wash these vehicles. So if, the customer didn't, you just kind of don't see it, and it's out of sight, out of mind. We did a bunch of rust preventiveness for the future of this vehicle. We'll try to make it last longer, but this vehicle probably won't see another winter. Just over a year restoring this vehicle. We did a full frame off restoration on it. We actually had to get a donor vehicle for the frame because this vehicle missed the frame recall, and we could not buy a new frame from Toyota at the time. I ended up finding a vehicle that was in a salvage area that had a frame put in it from Toyota just a few years past. It's also nice to have a parts vehicle when you're restoring a truck, just because of, there might be a part on this vehicle that was rotted or not be able to use that the parts truck had. So we ended up buying the parts truck for a few grand and brought it up to the shop and disassembled that vehicle. And yeah, frame was awesome. Toyota had a pretty bad frame issue with a lot of the 90s and 2000s Toyotas. I believe Dana Manufacturing was the corporation that was building frames for Toyota, and actually Toyota was in a pretty good lawsuit with them over these rusted out frames, because up in here in New England, salt's kind of an issue, and I'm not sure if they didn't use the right corrosive prevention on these frames, but even the new FJ Cruisers, they were all rusting out after just 8 to 10 years old. But the frame was virtually rust-free and it was in good shape. We did a couple little things on it to make it better. There was some welding on the frame. It kind of seems a little bit poor, so we just reinforced it and make it a little bit stronger. I went through the restoration process of that, sandblasted, painted it, and internal frame coater on that. So because we don't want to have to go back through this process again in 10 years. So We did everything that we could better than factory for the underside painting of this vehicle.
Kind of just like every other restoration project, you know, you start through, there's always problems you run into. Some of the problems we were running into is unexpected availability of parts for various reasons, but something like that you would think would be easily available isn't. So we have to work around that. Again, that's a lot of what we do. A lot of our vehicles are older, they don't even make parts for them anymore, so we're used to modifying, customizing, and making it work best for the scenario we're doing. Once we had the frame, motor, transmission, basically a rolling chassis, we brought that out. We brought the body in and started overhauling the underside of the body, which means scraping off all the old undercoating, rust, bringing that down to bare metal, and then rubberizing the entire thing. Then we lowered the body down onto the chassis and started kind of completing it, putting it back together. So this is like a one of one. You're not gonna see this vehicle other than this application. Nobody has one. So that's kind of what's cool about it. And even when we were out testing it, road testing it, we'd pull into gas stations and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, these are the new Land Cruisers, huh?" I said, "Nah, this was 2001. It came out so sweet. It's such a nice looking rig, and it's a real head turner. Overall, it was a fun project to do.
During the paint process of the Sequoia restoration, we actually didn't have to take the body down to bare steel. A lot of our restorations, you know, the cars are from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, so the paint on it is, you know, older material and has to be stripped down to bare steel to give a quality paint job. But this car is only from the 2000s. You know, it had its basic rust on it and stuff like that, so to save the customer some money, we were able to just sand the body down, do our body work, rust repair, and then we're able to prime it and then do an all our paint process. All of our products are from Sherwin-Williams Automotive. We use their P30A primer and then their Ultra Series base coats and clear coats. This vehicle has gone through every possible phase you could go through with it. We restored all the engine components, all the AC components, suspension, axles, wheels. Everything on this vehicle is virtually brand new. More than half the parts of this vehicle we actually got from Toyota. So this vehicle's got a brand new transmission from Toyota, brand new transfer case, brand new engine, and a lot of the engine parts under the hood were actually from Toyota. There's a ton of money in OEM parts of this vehicle. This vehicle's sporting a 4.7 liter 2UZ FE V8, about 240 horsepower. It's backed by a 4-speed transmission. This thing goes down the road really nice, and it's got 4-wheel drive. Customers can do pretty much anything they want. Family vacations, long trips. Drives like a modern day vehicle. Did a MagnaFlow exhaust system for it. It's a catback system. It's got a nice tone for when driving down the road. A little bit more performance as well. That was one thing we did overstock. One of the cool things we did to this vehicle is we kind of wanted to mimic the new generation Sequoias. So we did like a TRD Pro badge package, grille and running board, just to kind of make it look a little bit more off-roady. OEM Toyota TRD black wheels. They're a 17-inch semi-gloss black wheel with a BFgoodrich all-terrain tire. We also did some custom rock sliders on the side of it. They actually act as a side step as well. This vehicle did have the original side steps on it, but they were all rusted and kind of broken. We did the ladder in the back, and then we did a roof rack from Gobi as well. So it's got kind of its off-road kind of appearance look. You know, one of the things I tell people when they come up and see the vehicle is the underside of the vehicle and the engine bay is nicer than the exterior of the body. The bottom of this truck you could eat off of. It's so clean. You know, we were actually at the Toyota dealership and actually showing the guys it, and they're like, "Holy shit, this thing's better than new and nicer than some of the new vehicles that they have on the lot." So, you know, the work speaks for itself. So at the time, this vehicle was one of the largest SUVs that Toyota offered. It actually had third row seating in it as well, and that's why the customers bought it new, because it could, you know, hold all the kids. It's the first generation Sequoia. They've actually made 3 generations that are really cool. We try to kind of mimic that look with this truck because, you know, we did want to do the off-road look and grill with the marker lights and the wheels and the running boards and the roof rack, just to kind of give it a more off-road look. Not a lot of vehicles can say they've lasted 253,000 miles, you know, and still be on the road. This vehicle is a limited model. It came with all of the factory features. So it had heated and power mirrors, heated seats front and rear, cruise control, JBL, sound system, leather interior. Every possible feature that you could get new, it had. One of the things that the customers did on it when it was factory is this vehicle came with a gold badging all over it because it was a limited edition. So it had all the emblems were gold painted. The customers didn't want it to stand out, so they took them all off and actually had the regular silver emblems put back on it. A neat little story and a little history behind the vehicle. Today we actually went down to the Toyota dealership in Worcester, Mass, Har Toyota, and we wanted to try to get a picture in front of the dealership sign with it. But they actually let us into the service station, and we got to take a nice video and some pictures in front of their Toyota wall with all of the vehicle histories and pictures behind it. So we got a good shot of that. So I just want to give a shout out to Har Toyota in Worcester, Mass. It was also nice to go down there and you know, show the guys that we spend multiple hours on the phone with trying to order parts for these vehicles, you know, put a face to the work that we're doing. So it was nice to meet the guys and meet the team down at Har as well.
Revealing the vehicle for the first time is one of the most rewarding aspects of this job. Let's take a look.
What? That's like a brand new car! Moses is new!
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's Moses?
Yeah.
All I wanted was a roof rack and big tires!
Yeah.
But it's like a brand new everything! What are we gonna do? I'm gonna have to park in the lot way far from everybody.
That's right.
About $100 in Chuck E. Cheese coins.
And I thought I cleaned everything out.
They found those way under the seat. You never would have found those.
That is so funny. So my now 24-year-old son,
Yep.
he was like the king of Chuck
Oh,
E.
yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yep.
That is so fun.
The next phase on this vehicle will be restoring the interior. We just put so much effort in restoring the whole exterior and the whole underside. We're going to take a small little break on it, and then we're going to revisit that in a couple months. It's really presentable. We just spent the last 2 days steam cleaning and cleaning the interior. This vehicle drives like a brand new truck. I mean, it should after everything we did to it. If you're ever looking to have something restored by us, give us a huge heads up on it, because we are, you know, sometimes a year to 2 years out before we can even start a restoration. Service work's a little different. We have a tech that does mostly just strictly service work, so we can try to get you in with a reasonable amount of time. Thanks everybody for watching the video and following our YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next ride.